Hello, everybody. As we move through the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series, we are on the 12th of March 1983 in World Class Review, and we move into what is a very spirited time for World Class. And the Von Erichs and the Freebirds are front and center. We see that continue here. But also, other characters are trying to assert their dominance as well. Jimmy Garvin says that he will wrestle on television, but only if he can get a shot at the Texas Championship held by David Von Erich. He says that he wants that championship, and he is clear about that. So we do see that down the road. David agrees to this as well. Wild Bill Irwin against Johnny Mantell is your first opening contest of the week. Interesting that Irwin, probably maybe a little more than a year ago, is the Texas champion and on top of the world, and not here. He is reduced to television opening match with Mantell. I'm sorry. Although he and Madrill did have several feuds, of course, we see very, very basic wrestling. Here, arm bars and the like. Irwin can get a good match out of anybody almost. But Johnny Mantell, not a guy that I quite understand. High impact move for him is a drop kick, and he spends about the majority of the match, several minutes, working over the arm of Irwin. Obviously, picking a body part, sticking with it is a strategy, but a guy like Irwin who can move a bit more, you would expect that he would be allowed to do a little bit more, especially being a former champion in the territory. He does make a few comebacks, but he certainly has maybe a 9-10 minute match here. Nice sunset flip at a near end point by Mantell. Irwin able to get things going back his way with something as simple as a stomp to the midsection. And the referee says his foot is on the bottom rope. That is the cutoff spot. Irwin not a fan of this reality, as he's arguing with the referee a bit. It's interesting that Irwin, throughout, has always been portrayed as a guy who isn't afraid to give referees some flack and some issues. Mantell drags him back to his feet. He gets an inside cradle, 1, 2, and the referee sees a switch and then another. And it appears that Mantell almost had him, but this is not the case. Inside roll-up cradle there. The referee almost out of the ring on that spot. That's the biggest thing I noticed, is that the referee is almost falling out of the ring due to, I don't know if I'd call it poor positioning, but wrestlers certainly using more of the ring than they typically would, and we almost go into a guarantee of a time limit draw here. 1, 2, and a kick out at the 2.5 mark near the end of this one. I don't know if that was more done to get Mantell over. Nice butterfly suplex is something he uses right near the end of the match, but again, doesn't hook the leg, doesn't get the victory. And so the official stops the match due to a time limit draw. Obviously, nothing gets settled here. Toriatsu against Mike Bond up next. This is, as you would imagine, a complete squash, as it is intended to be. Interesting that Arman Hussein still has squash-related stuff. Bundy says he wants Yatsu. Bundy basically wants to eradicate the remaining factors of Hart and Hussein Incorporated. Yatsu, I'm not 100% sure, but assume he came with some sumo background. He also does hit a beautiful set of suplexes, back suplex and a gut wrench suplex for his trouble. He is a guy who doesn't waste a whole bunch of motion. Mike Bond providing the opposition. I think, in my opinion anyway, they gave Bond a little too much in this. I understand that he's a journeyman who's there every week, and maybe they wanted to make him look credible, but Yatsu, not a guy who they have enough cachet in that he can make an enhancement talent look good at this point. Back body drops and the like, not enough to make the crowd buy tickets to see a guy that they don't really know, although he does hit a nice float over power slam before setting up for some more martial arts and then locking in the claw. Interesting that Yatsu allowed to use the stomach claw with the boys using the more traditional claw. We then go to an interview, very short. Arman Hussein says he's ready for anybody, including Bundy. He'll take Bundy out. He'll take whatever and whoever out. Iceman King Parsons, shown in a vignette, carrying around ice, lifting ice in the ice house, is at a point, pounding some ice. There is a music video, which obviously on the network has been dubbed over, but the one thing that's really, really clear is they want him to get over. David Von Erich responds to the challenge of Jimmy Garvin and responds that he's a bit goofy, but that he will give him a match. We then see the Von Erichs, both Von Erichs, all three Von Erichs, in both a singles and a tag. We start with the singles as Michael Hayes and Kerry Von Erich and Michael Hayes go at it here to open things. Michael, not wanting to do a lot of battle, runs away. Kerry runs after him, backdrops and the like. And once again, any chance that Michael has to get away, he does. Kerry holds his ground, obviously. Stands and holds his ground. He's clear that that's what he wants to do. And without a doubt, we see Kerry with various holds, the claw, the discus punch, and the like, not able to get as much of Michael as he would like, but there is a good back and forth here, so worth going out of your way to see if you like either one of these folks. I don't know how you can't like the feud, because we're talking 1982-83, and Kerry is, perhaps I'd say at least one of the top 5, if not top 3 baby faces in the world against a very hot heel trio in the Freebirds. Kerry, it looks like, re-injures his knee, and he actually drops a knee and goes and sells that surgically repaired knee for a bit. Good to see that guys remembered to sell back then. Hayes, not being a complete moron, goes after it, as one would expect he would, and then we see Hayes literally spend the next several minutes going after the leg, the ankle, and Kerry not having it. Actually, is really frustrated when Hayes goes after the wrap, but goes for a roll-up schoolboy and gets the win. Kerry is your victor there. And then we go to our TV main event as Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts face off against David and Kevin Von Erich as we close this week's television, and that is tag team match-wise about all you'd expect it to be. Complete chaos. The heels take over wherever they can. Babyface is always in the fight. Obviously, when you need power, you go with Gordy. When you need cheating, you go with Roberts. And you see quite a bit of that all coming together. Kevin actually tries to put Terry out with a sleeper. It looks like Buddy Roberts is having a conniption in the corner because he can't get the tag in. Terry, though, will stay in as long as he can, but he used sparingly. I don't know if that's his age, if that's his health, if that's just the dynamic of the team. Haven't been around the Freebirds enough to know for sure. All of the Von Erichs in. Bronko Lubitsch loses control several minutes before the close of the program and actually gets to a point where I'm reasonably sure he has to throw the match out because he loses all control. Texas Tornado match or something like that needs to be done. We close the program with the Von Erich saying this won't be over until we get a 3-on-3. Von Erichs and Freebirds. Claw with a tied up Freebird in the ropes, and the referee just has had enough. But Freebirds and Von Erichs 3-on-3 coming at you super soon. So we'll be back with more of the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series right after this.